Hi, welcome to the video. So last time we created a simple Angular app that can grab the query parameter value of a URL. And before I go on to the topic of this video, I want to show you some common examples of what of query parameters in use, right? And here is one. So despite YouTube being a much more complex website than our Angular app, we see that the URL is quite simple, right? If we break it down, we notice similarities in the syntax. And even if I go to the search page, again, it uses the same syntax. It's kind of neat, right? Obviously, they're gonna split up the plus signs here and feed these into the search algorithm. But other than that, one of the first pieces of information that YouTube will use is the query parameter, right? And so, for example, if I send you this link, you will see the same search results as I do now, simply because the URL, we have the same query parameter value in the URL. Okay, so just wanted to touch on that very quickly, and let's go into the rest of the video. So imagine that you're tasked with getting customer feedback across 15 different Loblaws locations. Okay, and your boss doesn't want to build a kiosk, like a shared kiosk, because that may break and require time to repair. So he wants you to get the customers to use their own mobile devices, right? They can visit a link and then submit a feedback form. And so the first solution, the most obvious solution that comes to mind, is to just have one link, and then, okay, after the customers go to this link and fill a feedback form, at the bottom you ask them which location they were at, okay? And this can work, but an obvious problem to this solution is that, well, what if the customers don't know which location they were at, right? What if they're not from the area? What if they accidentally enter the wrong information? So that's quite problematic right off the bat, right? But with your knowledge and query parameters, you can quickly make the connection that, oh, what if I add such a value, a unique value to each location's URL, as opposed to having a shared link. This way, it's automatically baked into the form, right? Whichever store they're at, well, that's a different unique URL that the customer enters, and you don't have to ask them for the location anymore, right? They can just enter that URL and submit the form without entering the location. And so that saves time. It saves an extra click, and as I know you can relate that sometimes that one extra click can just make that app feel that much more annoying, right, to use. So, okay, well, we're on a good path. What's more is that we may even use more tools to save even more time from the customer, right? What about QR codes? QR codes is just a way of storing data, including URLs. So if you think about dispensing one unique QR code, unique being that the URL that they store has a different query parameter, then that's quite a feasible solution. And a practical advantage of QR codes is that they're extremely simple to make. For example, I'm going to make one for this video here. I found this on the web. There's plenty of these QR code generators. I'm gonna pop that URL in, and there you go. There's the QR code. If you scan that with your phone, your phone will ask you if you want to visit that YouTube video. Okay, applying this to our feedback system. Imagine if you create 15 of these unique QR codes, unique in that the URL that they store has a different query parameter. Well, there's quite a feasible system, right? For one, we save the customers time in typing in the URL, because they can just scan the QR code. And then secondly, they don't have to worry about physically choosing the location. And plus for us is that we will know for sure which location they were at, because that query parameter has the information. Right.
All right, so I went ahead and implemented the design. First, I hosted the app on a server, which is GitHub Pages, and then I generated these 3 QR codes. Each of these differ by the query parameter value. Again, the QR code just stores a URL, as you see. If I just scan one of them like this, it's pretty quick. Okay, and you see the URL here, right? The QR code is just a representation of the URL. And if I click on this link here, there you go. We see the app behaves as expected. This shows the query parameter value. And okay, obviously you can use a switch statement or an if statement to show up more stuff depending on which store. But the important point is that the query parameter value will tell us automatically which location the customer is at, and so they don't have to choose that when they are at the end of the feedback form or whatever web app you want them to go through, right? So there you go.